Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. So I'm going to kind of let y'all in. I made a video of my Crohn story before, but I deleted it because I always delete my YouTube videos. But I'm going to tell y'all everything, the rundown. It's kind of raining outside, so if y'all hear rain, I'm sorry. But anyway, a lot of people didn't know this, but yeah, I do have Crohn's disease. And I was diagnosed at the age of 7. The symptoms that I found out that I had Crohn's was, I'm gonna try to keep this clean, but I had bloody diarrhea. So it might sound nasty, it was nasty, but that was like the first signs that I knew like something was wrong with me. I was in first grade when it first happened. I had woke up for school one day and, you know, I used the bathroom. And when I was using the bathroom, I noticed that my stool, which is poop, it was bloody. My mom came in. She was confused, like, what's going on? Like, why is your stuff bloody? So we was kind of confused and, you know, curious about what was going on. On top of that, I had lost a lot of weight overnight. Like while I was sleeping, like the night before I was fine. Sleeping, woke up, I lost a lot of weight. I used to eat breakfast in the mornings at elementary school. That specific day, I didn't feel like I wanted to eat anything. Like I didn't have an appetite. So that was kind of rare too. So my mom was just like, yeah, you're not going to school. We're going to take you to the doctor because something is going on. So we went to Kaiser first. Kaiser, they didn't really know what was going on. They couldn't really figure out what was going on with me. So we were trying to figure out, well, we got to do something. So my cousin, she had worked at Children's. So she had prescribed Children's Hospital to us in DC. So we went there. We went through the emergency room. And they ran all types of tests and, you know, stuff on me to figure out what is going on with me. The day turned into night, early turned into late. We stayed in the emergency room for hours and hours and hours. So eventually the doctor came back and he had told me and my mom that I have Crohn's disease. Well, as a kid, you don't know everything. So me personally, I was just confused. I'm like, okay, what is that? I looked at my mom. My mom's like, I don't know what that is. So pretty much Crohn's it deals with your intestines. It deals with your colon. So that's the reason why, he said that's the reason why you were having bloody stool, bloody diarrhea, all of that. It's kind of nasty, but yeah, I'm giving y'all the real raw everything. So, and he said me losing weight, that's a part of Crohn's, and not having an appetite, not having energy, is a part of it. So those are like the first symptoms of me finding out like, okay, yeah, I got Crohn's. Also in first grade, I noticed on my legs, I don't have them on my legs now, but in first grade, I had like these marks on my legs, and when you feel my legs, they felt like warm, really warm and tight. They felt tight, like they were kind of like knots. I'm gonna insert a picture to show y'all how my legs looked in first grade. That's how my legs look. They don't look like that now, but in first grade, that was another like early sign of you know, that I was having Crohn's. So I think that had to do with it too. So fast forward a little bit, after a while, like after they had diagnosed me and stuff, months was passing, I started getting more sick. I lost so much weight that a lot of my clothes were like hanging off of me. My underwear barely could fit me. Like that's how skinny I was. couldn't eat nothing. Anything I did eat, I barely could keep it down. I ain't have no energy, bloody stool again, stuff like that. So we started, once it started, like, we kept going through the same thing. That's when I knew, like, okay, the doctor was right. Like, yeah, I'm getting sicker. So a lot of times in elementary school, I would miss, like, not days or weeks of school, I would miss like months of school. But a lot of times my father would go to my school and pick up like my schoolwork, and whenever I felt enough energy, I had enough energy, I would do my schoolwork and stuff. And then my dad would take it back to my teachers and stuff like that. But my friends, a lot of them didn't know what was going on with me. But anybody I went to school with, elementary school, middle school, now y'all know why I was not at school for months because of this sickness. But yeah, like, just things, it just started getting worse. Like, it got to the point where if you have Crohn's disease, they call it the flare up. So when you're about to have a flare up, or I call it the episode, is pretty much, you know, the symptoms. So it's pretty much when I lose weight, no energy, loss of appetite, bloody stool. That's when I know it's a flare up coming. That means I'm about to get sick. So anytime that happened, we would go straight to the emergency room. And I was in and out the hospital so daggone much that the hospital became like my second home. Like, that's how much I was in and out the hospital. And a lot of the nurses there, they knew me and they knew why I was there. So that's how it was bad. Okay, it was bad. But yeah, like, I went through a lot of stuff with my Crohn. First question is, how was I so brave and positive at a young age? So once again, I was diagnosed at 7. So from 7 to 13, I was in and out the hospital. Once I was like 14, that's like the age that I really was healed, pretty much. Like, I stopped going to the hospital, I wasn't getting sick. But to answer the question, at a young age, I feel like I was a little more mature, you know, than an average kid. So I don't know, like, I guess being in the hospital, like, doing the stuff that I was doing, which is like coloring, drawing, just doing kid-like things, still trying to be a kid while I was cooped up in the hospital. That's what made me like brave and positive, because I knew it was gonna be, I was gonna feel better eventually. So when you go into the hospital with a negative mindset, it's gonna make everything bad. So I always try to go in with a positive mindset. Number 2 is, what is some advice I could give to kids who also have Crohn's? First of all, you're not alone. Because when I was 7, I had thought that I was the only one in the world who had Crohn's. But I'm not the only one that have Crohn's. It's a lot of people who have Crohn's. It's grown people who have Crohn's. So, but in the hospital, when you meet different kids who have different illness, you know, different chronic illness, it's like, okay, I feel like I'm the only one in the world who had it. But my advice to kids who do have it, you're not alone. And just make the best out of it, even though you go through a lot of ups and downs. Still try to be a kid, you know what I'm saying? Still hang out with your friends. Still do kid stuff, because you can't get your childhood back. And one thing I can say is, although I was out in and out the hospital, I had a really good childhood. So I don't want people to be thinking like, since you was in and out the hospital, you didn't have a good childhood. No, I had a great childhood. Number 3, what is it like being in and out the hospital? Being in and out, it was terrible. Really, it really was, because it was like the time that I felt like, okay, I'm healthy, you know, everything's good, then I have a flare up. There was times that we would go on vacation, or we was about to go on vacation, and then I would have a flare up, or, you know, I was at school and stuff, and then I have a flare up. So it's like everything be good in life, I be healthy, you know, feeling good, and then I get knocked back down, and boom, I'm in the hospital again. So it was really difficult. And like I said, as a kid, because when you're a kid, you just want to have fun. That's the only thing on my mind was, I just want to be a kid, I just want to have fun. So it was kind of hard in a way too, because I wanted to be a kid, but I also was battling my sickness. Do you regret anything or pain you went through when it came to your Crohn's. Honestly, I don't regret nothing I went through, okay? I don't regret not a damn thing. Because I promise you, if I never went through the stuff that I went through, I probably would have been a weak female. I would have been a weak person. Like, everything would have just knocked me down straight like that. So I'm glad that I went through a lot of stuff that I went through in the hospital, because it made me stronger. It's made me, you know, a wiser person, a more mature person. Number 5, what made you share your story? So first of all, I didn't want to put what I put on. I didn't want to put my little Crohn's situation on Instagram to get clout, or, you know, have people feeling sorry for me, or, you know, no. I put my story out there because sometimes when people put their stories out, you know, on social media, it gives somebody else the motivation, it gives somebody else courage to put their story out. You know what I'm saying? I could follow people. I've had probably 5 people already DM me saying that they have cancer, they have diabetes. This one girl said she got colitis. So it's just like, you don't know who your audience is. So when you share your story, it could give somebody else the voice to come out and share theirs. So that's why I put my stuff out, because I probably could motivate somebody to do the same. Somebody could have been scared to do it, but then I did it. Now they're like, okay, I'm brave enough to do it too. So that's why I put my stuff out, because it could give somebody the voice to do the same. Number 6. I ain't got my glasses on. How was it meeting Michelle Obama, Demi Lovato, and The Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson? It was fun. It really was fun. You know, one thing I could tell people, like, that's like the main question I get asked all the time from people. It was really fun, because you know how, I know how sometimes when people meet celebrities and stuff, you know, you see them on TV, they act so positive and innocent and stuff, and then when you meet them in person, you're like, ew, you're not the same person I see on TV. All 3 of them are the same humble, down-to-earth people. Like, I think Michelle Obama was like the best experience compared to the other 2. I like the other 2 also, but Michelle Obama was like something really, really special, because it's crazy, because I didn't look at her as like a famous person. I didn't look at her as the first lady. I looked at her as just like a person that I was close with. And it's weird to say that, but it's true. Because when me and my mom met her, the vibes was perfect. Like, it was genuine vibes for real. Like, she's a really down-to-earth, understanding woman. Like, how you see her on TV, she's the same way in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing, you know, fake about her. She doesn't change up the way she talk. How she represents herself on TV, that's how she is in person. Literally, my mom and I, we sat down for about an hour talking to her about everything. And, you know, when she came to the hospital, you know, she had her Secret Service and she had her team with her, and she literally told all of them to get out the room so she could talk to me and my mom. Like, that's how comfortable she was, you know. And that made me feel good, because that made me feel like, okay, you don't know me, but you trust me. Although me and my mom, we wasn't going to do nothing to her, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first lady at the time. But it just felt good to, like, know that she might not know me and my mom, but she trusted us, you know. But the only ones that was in the room was me, my mom, Michelle Obama, and her photographer. That's it. Everybody else was out in the hallway. Her Secret Service was out in the hallway. But it definitely was a nice experience, you know. Like, she's very nice. She's a sweet lady. Like, she's really nice. It was funny because I had braids, although in the picture my braid, I had box braids in, but like, I had new growth. My braids were old, okay? But I had new growth coming, so my braids was looking kind of raggedy. And she was like, she started talking about her daughters, and she was like, you know, I always try to get Sasha and Malia to get those braids. And just the fact that she was talking about her daughters, I was just mind blown. I was like, oh my gosh, like she's talking about her daughters. Like I was just Demi Lovato and The Rock, they're the same person too. Like how you see them on TV, they're the same people. They're cool, they're friendly. I think Demi Lovato, I feel like she was a little nervous. Like I know I was already nervous because she's a celebrity and I was meeting her, but I felt like her vibe, she was like nervous a little bit. But The Rock, he was cool. He's kind of goofy. Like he's kind of goofy. He was definitely cool. You know, we talked about a lot of stuff. Definitely a genuine dude, a very, very humble man. Number 7, would you ever make a documentary on your Crohn's story? This is actually a really good question. Honestly, at one point I was saying that I wanted to, oh, I feel like my eyelash coming on. I wanted to do a documentary on my story at one point. I probably will still do it, but I really would because I want people to like see the inside of everything, you know, of everything I went through. Number 8, what was something that you understood at a young age when it came to your Crohn's? Everything that the doctors have ever done for me, I understood, you know, everything. From the procedures that they were doing, the different tests, any surgery that they were doing, any medicines they were giving me, I understood as a kid, like, they're doing all this stuff to help me get better. So, you know, a lot of kids, they probably, you know, always wonder, why am I getting this? Why you gotta do this? Why are we doing this? Me, I wasn't like that. Anything that any test they wanted to do, any medicines they wanted to give me, whatever, I just said, okay, let's do it. Because I knew that they were doing any and everything to, you know, get me to feel better. 9, advice to anyone who suffers from a chronic illness. It's kind of the same advice to like any kid that's going through Crohn's. I'm gonna say, don't let it change you. Like, when I say change you, I'm talking about don't let it mess up your days and make you, you know, a negative person. Because sometimes when you're in a hospital, you think so negative, like, I just want to go home. I hate this. I don't want to do this. Like just embrace your chronic illness. It's a part of you. It's a part of who you are. Like I said, I'm always have Crohn's, so it's a part of my life. But just embrace it. Just learn how to deal with it. As a kid, I learned how to deal with my Crohn's, for real. But definitely, like, just learn how to deal with it. That's the main thing, you know. Do things to get your mind off of what you're going through. And number 10, how did your Crohn's become controlled and how did you heal from it? That's the last question. Well, I had ended up getting surgery and then they put me on this medicine that I gotta go to an infusion center to get. They put an IV in my arm and they give me the medicine through the IV. That's been keeping me healthy. I actually recently been gaining more weight, so that's good because I'd rather gain more weight than lose weight, because if I lose weight then I can get sick. So the medicine is to make sure that I stay healthy, like my energy levels up, make sure that my appetite is good, make sure that you know, I'm just healthy all around. So I feel like that medicine has been keeping me healthy, for real. And once I got this little surgery, that kept me healthy too. Crohn's, it makes your immune system very weak. That's another reason why I was getting sick so much. But I had 2 IVs in at the same time because I had one in my hand. And what the thing about IVs is, everybody should know what an IV is, because y'all should have at least had one time y'all been in an emergency room for something and they usually put an IV in your arm. But I had an IV in my hand for like a week, and then my vein had, they call it a blowout. So it's like when they run stuff through your vein, it hurts. So they had to take the one out my hand, they had to take that one out. Then I had one on my arm. And I had got this thing called a PICC line. So for those of y'all who don't know what a PICC line is, it's a tube that goes in your arm. I have 2 marks on my arm. Y'all can't see it because I got my jacket on, but it goes in your arm. It stops like right in this area. and they run medicine through that tube, pretty much. So they put the PICC line in me because I kept my veins were just so fed up with the IVs, and there was no more places to put the IV at. So they did a PICC line. People can actually live off of a PICC line. You know, they say people have PICC lines in their arms forever. You know, like older people, they have them in their arms forever. But I didn't want it in my arm forever. So that's what it's for, pretty much. You're actually awake. That's what they call it. It's a procedure for it, but you're actually awake. I was awake for it, but they numbed me up. Definitely, you know, as a youngin', I guess the doctors thought that I was gonna kick and scream when they did it. I took it like a champ because they had already numbed me, so I didn't really feel anything. And it's crazy because I actually went to sleep. Like, that's how comfortable I was. And they were saying how brave I was because a lot of the kids that they put PICC lines in, they, you know, they're scared and stuff. But I wasn't scared. I really wasn't, because I had it before too. So I kind of already like knew what to expect. In an NG tube, so I feel like this was like my all-time enemy. So an NG tube is a tube. It's like, well, they might have different colors, but the one that I always had was yellow. It's kind of thin. But an NG tube is pretty much a tube to, if you can't feed yourself, they put the tube in you to pretty much force feed you. So the tube goes in your nose. You know, every body part is connected. So the tube goes in your nose, down your throat, in your stomach, and it stays there. If y'all see like white tape on my face, and so I'm gonna show y'all the picture of me and Demi Lovato. I had white tape on my face. I had the NG tube in. So in that picture, I was pretty skinny because I was barely eating, so they had to force feed me pretty much. So they put the tube in, and they put my nutrients through the tube to help me gain weight. So yeah, that white tape on my face, once they put the tube in, they would tape it so that it won't move. But like always, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.